Well, it seems like Jerrod Carmichael had caused a lot of controversy at this year's Golden Globes. Not just talking about himself hosting because he's black, not just making fun of Tom Cruise, but actually making a joke of something that is actually sort of the truth, if you ask many people. Let's get into this, shall we? Hey everyone, it's your girl, Miss Analytical. I'm back. And in advance, I apologize about the clapping emoji. Maybe it's inappropriate based on the topic, but the other emoji sound I was going to use, I didn't think it was really appropriate. So this one is more family friendly and mainly advertiser friendly. So I'm going to read to you from today.com. It's the website of the Today Show, and it reads, Jerrod Carmichael faces backlash over tasteless Whitney Houston joke at Golden Globes. During his opening monologue, Carmichael greeted the A-list audience members with a reference to Houston's tragic 2012 death. Jerrod Carmichael is being slammed for a joke he made about late pop star Whitney Houston at the 80th Golden Globe Awards on Tuesday, January 10th. The comedian served as the award show's first black host during the ceremony. Such an Aries. Sad to say that. Which found him cracking jokes about the lack of diversity in the Hollywood foreign press, Tom Cruise's involvement with the Church of Scientology, and Will Smith's infamous 2021 Oscar slap. During his opening monologue, the former star and creator of The Carmichael Show greeted the A-list audience members with a reference to Houston's tragic 2012 death. So, we are here live from the hotel that killed Whitney Houston, the Beverly Hilton, Carmichael said to stunned silence. Houston died on February 11, 2012, at age 48, after accidentally drowning in a bathtub at the famed hotel. Carmichael came under fire for the remark on Twitter, with many critics calling the joke tasteless. I didn't like that Whitney Houston joke at all. That was so tasteless and disrespectful to her, wrote one. Okay, that Whitney Houston joke was, yikes, not good, added another. Another critic said Carmichael crossed the line with the remark, writing, that is not comedy. That's destructive and distasteful. Others demanded that Carmichael issue an apology for the remark. It was very disrespectful, and I feel that J. Carmichael needs to apologize for saying the tasteless and insensitive joke, wrote one. Though Carmichael was called out for being insensitive, many of the night's winners, including Glee and Pose creator Ryan Murphy, were applauded for delivering uplifting acceptance speeches. Murphy, who was presented with the night's Carol Burnett Award for his contributions to television, used nearly all of his time at the microphone to focus on several of the fearless LGBTQ actors he has partnered with over the years, calling them heroes of mine. So let's get into this, okay? Because I got a lot to say. And I'm going to say this for about 10 minutes. Jerrod Carmichael has now arrived. He's the first black host. I think he might be the second LGBTQ host. I think Ellen DeGeneres hosted the Golden Globes one year. So he's probably the second LGBTQ. But nonetheless, he has arrived. He's not a superstar, but he's officially a star. Jerrod Carmichael hosting the Golden Globes is going to open a lot of doors. And Jerrod Carmichael was saying a lot of jokes to pretty much get his name buzzing and using controversial topics to do so. He went on Tom Cruise. He also did a joke on Will Smith with the slap. The difference is those people are still here. They can defend themselves. These people are still alive. You know, they really haven't had anything really tragic happen to them. You know, just some things that are controversial. They didn't lose anything or anyone. Whitney Houston. Now, a lot of you are thinking that I'm going to really go really hard in on Jerrod Carmichael, but surprisingly, I'm not. Follow what I'm saying. Jerrod Carmichael making a joke about Whitney Houston being murdered was distasteful. It was disrespectful. It was wrong. Because that was not just a loss of life at that establishment. That was a loss of the life of an international icon who has just been ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as the #2 vocalist of all time. The greatest vocalist behind Aretha Franklin. So with all the drug use, with all the scandals with the reality TV, even with the way her life ended, she still is considered the voice, the greatest voice of all time. And the only reason why Aretha got it was because Aretha has more Grammys than her. And Aretha was in the industry longer. And Aretha has people behind her who push for her, even though she's no longer here. But Whitney got #2 by Rolling Stone. And as racist as you want to call them, they kept it real and put her at #2. And that means something. That means something. And it wasn't a white person who got #1. It was another black person. Okay? So that tells you she's still great. Nobody can ever outdo this woman vocally. Okay? Now, let's remove the context of the statement being a joke to stun people, because it was to stun people. What Jerrod Carmichael said was mostly the truth. Let me break it down. I'm not mad that Jerrod Carmichael said what he said. I disagree with that he said it as a joke. Most of his statement was true, except for one. The hotel did not kill Whitney Houston. It was people that took Whitney Houston out. Okay? It was people that took her out. It happened at the Beverly Hilton, which is known as the White House of the West Coast. I'm going to get to that another time. There's video footage of certain people running out and laughing while her body was still upstairs in that hotel, in that tub. The day before she was murked, Bobby Christina was in that tub. They were trying to take out Bobby Christina. See, y'all didn't know that, T. Look it up. Look it up for yourself. But Whitney Houston was killed. He's not lying about that. And I'm glad he said it, because I'm glad that now what he just did, he's opening the door for an investigation to come, because an investigation needs to come because that woman was murdered. You can't deny it. The woman was murdered. Okay? First of all, it has been known from research, because I did research, okay? And it has been known, and I'm going to say it off the record in legal terms. It has been known, and her sister Leola talks about this. It's been alleged that Whitney Houston was given a hot shot that contained all the substances that showed up in the coroner report. If you look at Whitney Houston from 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12, Whitney Houston was very sober acting. She looked sober. She acted sober. You could look at her body and see she didn't do drugs because she gained a lot of weight. The woman gained at least 50. I would say the woman gained about 50 pounds. That was the biggest she was. She had a stomach. Whitney never had a gut until the last 4.5 years of her life. And that was because of her not using substances. Okay? But there were people that were envious of her and they wanted money. And this is how all this happened. So Jerrod Carmichael, a lot of people don't like what he said. They don't care about Whitney. They care about this not opening up again. Now, what I am going to say is, in a subtle way, maybe Jerrod Carmichael don't like what happened to Whitney. And he said it in a way to say as a joke, to basically not just shock people, but to say, hey, this woman was done dirty. It was messed up how this shit happened. And the people that was around her, they were some shady characters, like, how the hell does Ray J come up from this? Ray J is now worth $40 million. Think about that for a second. He was in that room. I'm just saying. Raycon is like a bootleg Beast by Dre. And then you got Brandy, who never had seizures before, but all of a sudden, the 10th anniversary of Whitney's passing come, she having seizures now. And she ain't innocent, because remember the car accident with the woman and the baby that were unalived? Come on now. Let's talk about that. So with that being said, I wish that he wouldn't have said it as a joke, but I'm not mad that he said it. So with that being said, I'm signing off. If you would like to subscribe to this channel, please do so. Hit the notification bell to receive future notices on uploads and lives and shorts. Like, comment, and share, and I'll be back soon. Later, and good night.